Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of Animated Awesome. I'd like to say awesome anime, but I don't know how awesome I think the Dirty Pair actually are. Although I really enjoyed one of these episodes quite a bit. Um, so I think that's a good sign. I like the concept, as I've said, but so today we'll be talking about episodes 9 through 12, which will put us halfway through of the entire first run. And like I said, I'm not counting those ones that were produced later on, the last two episodes, just the ones that aired originally. We may get into more Dirty Pair or not. We'll see. Be that as it may, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the Dirty Pair. I mean, it's fun to see animation from. I mean, it's fun to see two-dimensional animation, hand drawn, no computers. And I know that they've done a really great job. I love, some of the newer cartoons. We will get into, say, Batman, the Brave and the Bold, or Justice League Unlimited, because I love them, but those are, far, far away, probably. We'll see. I mean, Superman will be 90 in 3 years, less than 3 years now. 3 years, yeah, and Batman will be 90 in 4 years. So we're going to try to get some of those out of the way sooner than later because there's a lot. Both of them have a lot of things we can review, and we've already featured Batman a couple times. Well, not very much. But anyway, before I get too much further into the weeds, let's roll. All right, we begin with Kay complaining about her job, which is going to be a standard occurrence. But as I get used to the characters, it's funnier. And they're out on the ninth episode here. Yeah, she's bored. They're in their actual uniforms. I guess those are uniforms. Still 19 years old, and then they get fired upon. Off they go and crash. A lovely angel crashes. And yes, uh, it's better to have beautiful bodyguards, but this is really either you want to call it your Jimbo, you can call it a fistful of dollars. It's a Western. It's got a touch of Mad Max in it, as we'll see. There's the headquarters. I do like the fact that they spelled out the English letters, the WWW, the 3WA. It's a highly, and it's on top of a bunch of buildings. I mean, we don't even know how far down that city goes. But yes, Calico is asking him, worried about talking to Gully. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, he says, "I don't hate him. It's planned. Shut up." So there they are on the planet. It's a desert planet, and they leave Mugi with Namo, and off they go down the Golden Brick Road, or is it a river? But you'll notice they've changed clothing. Kay has to go get some biscotti, really emphasizing the spaghetti Western nature of this. In case any Western viewers, I mean, it was huge in the 70s. Big influence on Japanese television and movies were those 60s spaghetti westerns into the early 70s. And now we've got here's our little Mad Max there. That's not Lord Humongous, or a Road Warrior, but it looks like it. So Kay's just wanting to eat her food. Now, Some kid. This looks like a kid in a either a Godzilla mask or a frog mask. I couldn't tell. So, Frog, you can take a look. We'll see him in a moment. And K, that's really not cricket, but it works. Mm. And there's the kid. Now, does it? It looks like a Godzilla because it's got teeth. And I'm no frog expert or toad expert, even though I know toads are poisonous from uh, Shaolin Saturday's Five Deadly Venoms. But you tell me, why is he wearing it anyway? I mean, so these are the two sides there. Uh, Montal, and then Mr. Dokechi is the other side. Guess who's employed by the other one? She shoots Kay, but well, she's going to get. They're both getting employed. Okay, Yuri shows off her gun skills and their zappy guns, and then throws the kid out of there, and because he made a pass at her. But now she's in charge. Kay's in charge of the security on the other side. The trick, there's energy on this planet that the girls that the pair are sent to make sure that it's not nearly as um, that they can have more planetary. They can have more energy for their spaceships. It's the cartels are running it. So on the Western like planet, Western, yes. However, we get told by the dad here that the dirty pair are there, and if this gets so that's not the dad. This is the other guy. Boot to the head. Anyway, if the energy source gets lit on fire, the planet will blow up. Foreshadowing. So now the two sides are coming together because they know that the dirty pair are on the planet. See, the planet will explode. Dirty pair? And there's a setup. So, and they trick the girls. They have to fight each other. So off they do. You can just hear the Morricone theme, right? But they don't know that. So the girls actually do fight because they have to. Obviously there's some aggression here because you have to fight for pretend. Sometimes it comes out you're fighting for real a little bit. But Mugi and Namo show up. Tables have been turned, and unfortunately, one of them hits the fire button and into the mine. Now, hopefully, it took a long time for the planet to self-destruct, and all the people on it of Plastone got off safely. They don't mention it, but yeah, a chain reaction, and Gully is lovely, just thrilled. But there we go. That's going to make a lovely opening card sometime because I just really like that shot. All right, now we're on planet 10. We're on episode 10 on the planet Caspia, which I'm quite sure is named after Prince Caspian, even though we don't know. There's the king, the beloved king, and his wife. The king has a heart attack. Louis the 12th, no, Louis the 7th. Excellent number, Louis. So and so off they go. The dirty pair are hired to go to the planet. They haven't told anyone the king is dead. So shenanigans. Incidentally, the last episode where they do blow up a planet is the first time they've caused that much mass destruction in the entire series. Sir Ruber, maybe Rupert, I don't know, but the subtitles are good, but sometimes they get some things a little wrong here and there, which is to be expected. Even professional ones get things wrong. So, Mortalin, we find out that Kay can speak formally to royalty, and off they go. And then they find out the prince is 12 years old. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't even know how to say that name. Heath. But there's our villain. And we don't see him very often, but we have seen the angels on top of high buildings. And this conversation is hilarious because they fall off. They get blasted off. They don't really fall off, but and they land because they don't have jetpacks or a parachute apparently. But there he is. Ghosts do not. I don't know. The yokai I've seen have at least one leg. one of them, a couple of them, Kappa have legs. So it was nice for the subtitlers to put that in there. All right. Yep. So Prince knows what he's got to do. Off they go, but they're being chased. Ruber is after them. They crash. He's gonna walk. They walk to the. They're gonna walk to the city, which is ages. Yuri's too tired. Kay yells at her, but he says a member of royalty. Yeah. So, he's got more clothes on, but this nice couple finds them, or are they? But nope. And they find out that they're out. There's a reward out for them because these two dingbats that were with the prince told him that they were fakers. Now, little Lita here decides she's going to betray her. I don't know if they're her employers or what, but off she goes. They ride these giant terror birds, which they're definitely bigger than your standard ostrich, and they're dinosaurs. Even on planet Caspia, they have dinosaurs. So that Lita and the prince have this. I'm going to call him the prince because I can't say his real name. Have a heart to heart. He's jealous of her. She's jealous of him. The whole thing. And there, off they go. So we get this. The prince is quite capable. I mean, they've trained him well, but the pair get arrested because of that. So he's off, and but he's a good guy. And they think they can't get a hold of Mugi and Namo because their earrings are broken, but don't know that it's just sitting right there, and one of them's lost. So off they go, and they just get left there. So we're assuming that the 3WA showed up and bailed them out, or the prince went back and lived up to his word, which he should. All right, episode 11 here. Where are we going here? Episode 11, yes. And 2 months, and they're on duty, and they want a break. They want a vacation. There's but the computer tells them that, and so they blow up everything and so they can go on vacation. And I had to look this one up a couple of places. And, the transliterations vary, but mostly say this. So that's the one I like the most. And look, there's the tower that's still tilted. Kay's trying to get a date, and Yuri's listening in on the phone call that this he's a mama's boy, and then she calls up a guy. They both get turned down. So suddenly, G.A. Francis. So we should know they should have seen that, but they don't bother to look. So off they go. He's holding a birthday party, and they decide to that Yuri wants to go to Kalud. Looks like it should be Cloud, but I think it's supposed to be Korud maybe, to get a dress. And Kay is not impressed here, but Yuri's just window shopping and making him late. Unfortunately, Kay's dressed exactly like another. They call a villain, a thief, and the man with red hair, Moira. And that's Yuri resembles Moira, and Pete is Kay. So there's a case of mistaken identity, and shenanigans are about to erupt. Why they would run, I didn't realize you could see Kay's underwear here, or Yuri's underwear. She's trying to save the dress. So the whole thing is them trying to get off planet. They run into a bunch of brats, pretending to be the dirty pair. And of course, the law enforcement think they're kidnapping the kids. Off they go. They're trying to tell them, still, no one believes them because they haven't caused any damage, really. They've rounded up all the kids. They call them old ladies, and they send them out. But unfortunately, there was a dumb little kid they didn't round up, and they go back to Kolud, and now they've. So this is just a slapstick episode, really. So they want their autographs. We're lucky the whole, and they just left. So now they want to find out who Pete is, and it looks like the crowd there is saying, "Hey, these people are cool." So off they go to find him, and they do kind of resemble him, and then they're annoyed that they don't really, because one's got red hair and one's got dark hair, but they're old. And now they're going to warp. They go to not quite ludicrous speed, but they're almost reaching Plaid, and off they get. And Kay's dressed as a gangster. I don't even her fashion sense is highly unusual. And there's Gully. It's his house. And they're like, oh, okay, well, they decide to have fun. So, they didn't blow up anything. They didn't hurt anyone really. I mean, once again, the if there's violence in the original novels, it's really toned down. And now we're at episode 12. And we get the lovely Angel. They're getting rerouted to Gate 5. They're on the planet, their own planet here. And there's an emergency because a thief's been in there. They don't know. And the R&D is Chief Fangoria. Now, that can't be by any kind of coincidence. The magazine Fangoria was out in either 1980 or 81, maybe 79, and was quite popular very popular in Japan as well. So that has to be an homage. And so there's Calico. Because everything's in the headquarters, he's just sure it's going to get blown up. But there's could this be the miscreant? So I thought the dirty pair versus Ben and Willard, because there are a lot of rats in here, and you'll see why. However, it's not. It's more of a case of genetically altered lab mice. Dun dun dun. You know who those might be. The same thing they do every night. There's Fangoria herself. Gott, I hate her. They're not German. So there's a louse. Should be a louse. But, which if it bites you, it destroys your brain cells. And where do lice like to land? In the hair. That's where they won't tell them what Algernon is, which is based on Flowers for Algernon, which is a short story and then a novel about a mouse and a man who gets genetically altered to become, smarter. So, I didn't. It seemed like I knew that and I'd forgotten it. But boy, the night has 1,000 eyes. And then we find out that Moogie's afraid of mice or rats. And then they just come out in force. The rats are out. This is what made me think of Willard and Ben right away, because I've never liked either of those movies. I mean, rats are I don't think they're bad, but they were just rats. But they're taking over. And here's the one. Here's the genetically altered lab mouse Algernon and Chi-Chi, his partner, who is probably female and badmouths Yuri for her alleged 156 IQ, because Kay has to make fun of her. But Algernon can control other mice, so that's why they're all rambunctious, and he's smart, and I couldn't resist. And they're just infiltrating, and they're bringing weapons. And now if they're going to solve what they want, 3 weeks vacation. And they get a bunch of cats, the cats turn around and run away and get back in the ship, I would hope. We probably all have to be, some of them have tails, some of them don't, or that's, could be the animation, but there's a lot of cats. But they hacked Brain, and interestingly enough, Brain is helping the humans against the mice. Bet you didn't see that one coming, Snowball or Pinky. But yeah, extra cost. So then they're going to use the bug, the louse number 1. What if it bites you? They're not wrong. Ignorance is bliss. Moogie's trussed up. They're going to sacrifice him as a giant cat, even though he's not. I guess I don't know if he is or not. But there's the louse. But except that it turns out they were bitten by a flea, and they try to give it on Algernon, but Chi-Chi jumps in and gets bitten, and Yuri smashes the louse on Kay's chest before it can bite her, and in a very in a twist I didn't see coming, and is oddly touching. Algernon sacrifices himself because his girlfriend or his mate isn't smart, and he can't live in a world by himself. He's too smart for this world, so down he goes. And there you go. I mean, it's an oddly touching end. There's not a lot of damage once again, except for this poor innocent mouse and bunches of mice. And then the capes go fluttering down. Chi Chi is back to or is normal because she doesn't have she's got a mouse brain again. And off they go. And that's it for our episodes today. I really enjoyed that last story because I was not expecting the ending because I was wondering how they were gonna stop Algernon or let him escape or what, but they couldn't, and he couldn't do it. So interesting sacrifice. So my fellow agents, until our next assignment tomorrow, where we do go back to outer space and an infestation of alien life forms on us that are deadly to man. This is X7 signing off, phasing out.
どうしたのさゆり。夢か。そんなに怖い夢見たの？狭い暗い下水道の中でうにょうにょぶよぶよとした化け物が。まずい、それまた夢かもよ。ほら。次回はアニよこれ玉のお肌がドロンドロン。ああ、また悪い予感。